Here's what I want to say real quick. So I know what you're talking about here. I've seen stuff like this online before where they kind of have you, I've seen these sort of, what would you call it? It's almost like a ladder. It's like an objective ladder or something, an approach ladder where it's like you start off, that's how I've seen it described, where you start off, where you start off with, like making eye contact with girls and then walking by them and maybe saying, oh, I really like your dress and this and that. And, until you finally work your way up over, I've seen some of these where they're broken down into like weeks where you're doing, these different challenges. And the idea there is that that's going to make the last one even the next one easier, or make the last one like not so much of a big deal. So it's like, okay, I've gotten used to looking girls in the eyes. Now I'm getting used to walking by them and talking to them, just complimenting them. Now I'm going to spark up a conversation, this and that. I understand how logically somebody could explain that would work. But the big problem that I have with those is that is telling you, I think that what those are doing is I think that that's telling you that you need something that you don't actually need. No, absolutely not. I'm saying like this sort of approach ladder sort of thing where like you overcome, or you could almost call it an anxiety busting ladder or something, where it's like, all right, break through the anxiety of looking the girls in the eyes, break through the anxiety of complimenting them, break through the anxiety of this and that, until you're finally at a place where now you're going up to women and you're going to ask them out, right? That's kind of the idea behind it. The problem that I see with that is, and obviously this is a follow-up call from the boot camp, and so I know you, and I've seen you interact with women, and I've seen the way that you are socially, and I don't think that you need anything like that, and I think that most guys don't. And so here's the thing. So what I would hate is I would hate for you to be sort of out in a situation where maybe the last few days you've been swamped with work, you've been dedicated to drums, basketball, this and that, and you see this chick and you're like, oh, well, shit, I haven't been doing my approach ladder and I don't really feel ready for this. So that's part of it. And then on top of that as well, those sorts of things, it doesn't really work, man. There's a massive, massive leap between, say sparking up conversation with a chick and then actually getting sexual with her in some way. There's a massive, massive leap that like no approach ladder, anything like that is going to prepare you for. And so this is what I'm getting at. And this is like some kind of like deep inner game shit. And you can totally feel free to disagree with this. But for me, I think that when guys are following this, because I've seen it in my group before, even a guy who's like, yeah, I started off this week doing that. Next week, I'm going to do this. The following week, I'm going to do that, whatever. I think that that's drilling it even further in your head that you need some sort of extremely elaborate warm-up process for you to be okay enough to essentially socialize with women in the way that you want to. Whereas I think that if you actually just tell yourself the truth, which is you especially, bro, like you're a professional dude, you're a good looking guy, you dress well, you have cool friends, you have great hobbies, you have so much value to offer chicks. And you don't need, again, this sort of approach ladder to go through for the next month or whatever to get ready to talk to chicks, bro. If you just tell yourself like, dude, you really, even just writing this stuff down, looking at all these areas in your life where you are the shit, and then telling yourself, all right, look, any fucking girl that I decide to go up to and socialize with, and then she's gonna want that. She's lucky to have it. And on top of that, I'm now gonna make the decision within that interaction whether I want to like go for that number or not. I think that it can just sort of project a false narrative into your brain. And I think that by just throwing yourself into the fire, I think you're going to find a lot more freedom in that. And you're going to have even bigger internal victories where you're like, fucking A, maybe it took a little more inside of you to go up and talk to this chick. But if you just go in and decide, hey, I'm going to run a full interaction with this girl and I'm going to ask for her number at the end of it, regardless of really how much of the vibe I'm feeling, I think you're going to come out of that just like you did on the boot camp when I had you go talk to that chick that was sitting on the thing and you came back and you were like, fucking A, dude, like, you were feeling high off of that. And I just think you're ready for that.